Alright guys, we've got the full lineup for version 3.2, and there's a ton to chat about. New characters, strong reruns, and some insane synergy between certain units. This update is one to keep an eye on. In this video, I'll break down everything you need to know about these banners, their playstyles, and if they're worth pulling for. So, in the first half, we've got Castoris, Dr. Ratio, Acheron, and Jiaoqiu, alongside the 4-stars Pela, Lynx, and Gallagher. Let's start with Castoris. She's a 5-star Quantum Remembrance character with a super unique playstyle. She sacrifices her own HP to power up her summon-based attacks, which sets her apart from the rest. If you're into characters who bring a mix of self-risk and high reward, she's definitely your girl. Just keep in mind she'll shine the most in teams that can handle her HP sacrifice or benefit from it, like Blade and My Day does with HP sacrifice. Now let's chat about Dr. Ratio, an imaginary hunt unit who focuses on scaling damage based on enemy debuffs. If you missed out on him before, he was basically a free character for players who logged in during version 1.6. But if you didn't snag him or want extra Eidolons, this is another shot at it. But here's where it gets really interesting. Acheron and Jiaoqiu make a killer team, with Jiaoqiu boosting Acheron's ultimate uptime and boosting her damage through consistent debuff application. This pair excels in teams that play to Acheron's strengths, making battles feel smoother and more efficient without needing a ton of setup. And for the 4-stars, Pela, Lynx, and Gallagher bring a nice mix of utility. Pela shreds enemy defenses, Lynx is a top-tier sustain unit, especially for destruction and preservation characters, and Gallagher adds extra healing while applying a debuff that amps up break damage taken. So, even if you're not aiming for a 5-star, these 4-stars are definitely worth considering. Now let's dive into the second half of this lineup. We've got Anaxa and Aventurine as the big 5-star characters, along with Dan Heng, Serval, and Mose as the 4-star crew. Anaxa is a 5-star Wind Erudition unit, which means he's all about dishing out that AoE damage. But what really sets him apart is how he can slap multiple elemental weaknesses and defense shred on enemies, setting them up for some serious damage from your other hitters. Depending on how well he scales, he could be a key player for those break-heavy teams. Now, Aventurine is a 5-star imaginary preservation character, and let me tell you, this guy is a tanking beast. He's all about throwing up strong shields and stacking up for some powerful follow-up attacks. Not only is he a top-tier sustain unit, but he also brings the pain on offense. If you need a support who can do it all, Aventurine is your guy. Moving on to the 4-stars, we've got Dan Heng, Serval, and Mose. Dan Heng is your go-to for single-target wind DPS, perfect for newer players. Serval is all about that strong lightning AoE damage, while Mose specializes in marking enemies for extra damage when your team hits them. Mose's success really hinges on team synergy and how well he can keep those follow-up attacks going. Overall, version 3.2 is dropping some seriously powerful banners. The first half is a dream for players who love debuff-heavy teams, with Acheron and Jiaoqiu teaming up to boost Acheron's ultimate damage potential. In the second half, Anaxa brings the pain with his AoE wind damage and elemental weakness shenanigans, while Aventurine holds it down as one of the best sustain units in the game.